Walking inside the commercial boiler room of the No Heat Call, I was greeted by a large old cast iron sectional boiler with a power flame burner. "It worked great yesterday," the owner said, and I nodded. The water temperature on the Tridicator read 75 degrees, and the system pressure was 12 psi, enough for this two-story building. Using my voltage detector, I found voltage feeding the boiler. We have power but no heat, I thought. Thinking it was a manual reset control, I pushed all the reset buttons and could not wake the sleeping cast iron beast. Kneeling in front of the boiler, I checked the continuity between OL1 and OL2. This circuit has all the safety controls, such as low water cutoff, operating control, and limit control. There was continuity, so the controls were made. Switching the meter to volts, I saw there was no power to OL1 and OL2. Welcome, friends, to Boiler Room Detective Channel. I'm your host, Ray Wolfworth. Today we're discussing emergency door switches in a boiler room. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a newbie, I hope you learned something new from this video. In this case, the switch holding the boiler off was the door switch. The door switch shuts off the boiler in case of a malfunction. We had to replace the switch because it failed. We were able to work it in and out, but it didn't turn the power on. Once we replaced it, the boiler fired right away. I'm a huge proponent of the emergency door switch, as I've had to enter a boiler room with a runaway boiler twice in my career. The boiler room was filled with steam and had no visibility. It was frightening walking through the boiler room by sound only. Once in front of the boiler, I had to feel around for an on-off switch. A door switch at the entrance would have been so much easier. The CSD1 code calls for a door switch at each boiler room door. I've seen many innovative ways to wire these into the boiler circuit. Many are wired incorrectly. Section CE-110 of the ASME CSD1 code says, "Activation of the remote shutdown switch or circuit breaker shall immediately shut off the fuel or energy supply." So, you can either shut off the gas or the power feeding the boiler. Some contractors install a solenoid gas valve upstream of the boiler. When the emergency door switch is pushed, it cuts power to the gas valve, closing it. This meets the code language, but doesn't disconnect the boiler's power. The boiler is still powered, which could be dangerous for anybody inside the boiler room. I prefer wiring the door switch to shut off the power to the boiler. In this way, the electric and the gas are both shut off. Some contractors will wire the door switch in series with the operating and limit controls. While this will shut off the burner, it doesn't isolate the electricity on the boiler and doesn't meet the code. I like breaking the power to the boiler so electricity is isolated. If you look at the power flame wiring diagram, you will see a place where you can wire the door switches. It's called the ES1 and ES2 terminals. The code that references the emergency door switches in boiler rooms is ASME CSD1. Under section CE-110, it states the following: "A manually operated remote shutdown switch or circuit breaker shall be located just outside the boiler room door and marked for easy identification. Consideration should be given to the type and location of the remote shutdown switch to safeguard against tampering. If the boiler room door is on the building exterior, the switch should be located just inside the door. If there is more than one door to the boiler room, there should be a remote shutdown switch located at each door. Activation of the remote shutdown switch or circuit breaker shall immediately shut off the fuel or energy supply." If you found this video helpful, Give me a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. If you would like to contact me, my contact information is here. In addition, I have two websites. BrewingWithSteam.com is focused on steam systems for breweries and distilleries. It includes a monthly blog about steam issues inside a brewery. My other site is FireIceHeat.com. It's my company's website and shows some of our capabilities. My boiler books are available on Amazon. My technical articles are included in these industry publications. Thanks for stopping by the Boiler Room Detective channel, and I'll see you on the next case.